Happy New Year, Vendée Globe fans. I'm Charlie Enright, and this is our special series of North Sail's Loft 57 podcasts focused on what must be the toughest sporting endeavor in the world. Like me, I'm sure you've been following the action on the race tracker as the boats blast east and seek around Cape Horn. Even as the fleet gets drawn out over thousands of miles, there are great stories and characters emerging everywhere. This week, we speak to two race rookies who are certainly making names for themselves, Sam Goodchild and Nico Lunven, two incredibly talented young sailors who I know well. We also chat to one of the biggest personalities on the race, Conrad Colman. So buckle up for these next three interviews. First up, I speak with Conrad Colman. He's a sailor who shares my passion for using this sport as a platform to inspire and deliver sustainable change for the planet, the environment, and the oceans. He's always great company, so we hope you enjoy our conversation with Conrad Colman. Conrad, welcome. Amazing to be connected with you. Technology is astounding. Let's talk about your race. Let's start with the start, which was very interesting for you, but ultimately it looks like you made a pretty smart call.
Yeah, that's right. It was a bit of a challenge. For those that didn't follow the start of the Monday, it was extremely light conditions, and I'd hoisted the code 0 and made a last minute call to go to the big jacket, the A3, and I've got a pretty inexperienced team, and we haven't done a lot of sailing together. And so in the process of making a very last minute change, in a moment of inattention, the sheet went around the prop, stalled the engine, wrapped up the sheets, immobilized the boat, stopped me from going anywhere. And so I kept my tech team with me before this, and didn't do the official start. And then as a result, I was penalized and not allowed to take the start once we had actually finished sorting out the problem. So I had to go into a different start protocol of the delayed start, which was on a different start line. And yeah, I totally admit it was luck, but the wind filled in from the side where my second start line was. And I went from leaving an hour and 15 minutes behind everybody to taking the lead. It was incredible.
Which is astounding. You got a lot of good coverage there at the start, which was pretty cool. And the start is full of emotion, and it's a tough journey just to get to the start line. So does it feel kind of surreal now that you're doing the race? You having fun with it all?
I'm having a hoot. This is great out here. As you know, the ratio of time spent building these kind of campaigns and the time actually sailing is not particularly favorable. I know a lot of amateur sailors, they get a lot more time on the water than I do. But yeah, once we're actually out here and I'm feeling great, the boat is in good shape. I've kept the boat ticking along, fixing the little thing that could come up. And it is fantastic to have, just in a couple of days, the first Southern Ocean depression that we'll hook into. And knowing that I'm going into it, feeling good myself, and the boat is in good shape, it feels amazing. So this is what dreams are made of.
But let's talk about the Atlantic. You and Jean Le Cam made a pretty bold decision there, coming down the North Atlantic. What kind of went into that? And did it work out like you thought it would?
Yeah, so basically we were presented by a big blue mess of nothing. There was a huge zone without wind, nothing to do with the doldrums, completely independent of that. There was actually a little low sitting just south of the Azores that actually destroyed the standard trade wind configuration. And so being presented with a barrier, then you have to figure out, which way to go around it. And 38 boats went one way and 2 boats went the other way. So that was pretty terrifying. John and I went down the east coast, down the east side, down the west coast of Africa. And it didn't quite pay as I had intended, but it's not as bad as it could have been. For me, statistically, when the trade winds break like that, then they should fill in with a little corridor of winds down the African coast. We saw that. Only the time stuck in the complete shutdown was a little bit longer than anticipated. So ultimately, the program worked in theory, but not quite as we had planned. The boats that I'm racing against, the other Daggerwood boats, are all older ones, so they don't have too many surprises on them. So these are very melon quantities. And I did a lot of research on the sail platforms that the boats have before the start of the race. And actually, that was also one of the decisions that allowed me to feel more comfortable going east, is that it was particularly favorable for me because I knew that some of my competitors had blown up their spinnakers, and so they were more favored on a reaching force. And my boat is slightly lower right in the moment, but better in VMG. So these kind of technical knowledge about both my boat in terms of its strengths and weaknesses, and also in comparison to the strengths and weaknesses of the other boats I'm racing against, helps push those big decisions.
Do you think we'll see any of the non-foilers slide into the top 10?
No, zero chance. And I think that most of the non-foiler boats that are in the fleet are from my generation, so 2008, which was a pretty archaic boat at this point. And then Eric Bellion and Jean Le Cam built new non-foiling boats, new Daggerwood boats, with the David Raison designs. And they are a little bit quicker than us, for sure, but they also spend almost the price of a new foiler to go 10% faster than a boat that's almost 20 years old. And so I don't think that's the best choice. And so I think, but part of the great thing about Vendée Globe is it has a great deal of diversity in the fleet. The fleet is 40 boats. You can't have 40 guys trying to win the race. And so I think it's good that there are all the boats out there that allow a lower sort of price of entry to get into the race. And then because the race is so much more than just the racing story, then the sponsors, like the ones that I have, can be infinitely well looked after, was telling a story of other than just trying to win a race. That said, the boat that you had in the last ocean race is one of the newest boats out there, and there have some newer boats built. And I had the chance of sailing your former boat last year when I delivered it from Genoa to Gibraltar, and it's night and day. There's no way that a boat like mine can compete with a boat like that. So I think 4 years ago that was definitely an anomaly with the very challenging weather, with the foilers not yet fully optimized, and that allowed the foiler boats to get into the top 10. But this time around, no chance.
What does a typical day look like for you?
So, I spend the time running around in shorts, hanging out underneath the veranda. The solar panels are going full gangbusters. The boat is zero emissions for this campaign and running primarily on solar with the hydro generators as backup. And so in solar mode, I'll try and sleep typically between sort of 2 and 5 a.m. in small chunks, 20 minutes, 40 minutes, depending on the situation. And then I have a little nap in the afternoon, and then the rest of the time is full go. When it's, particularly in the sort of drag race scenario that we're in at the moment, little things make a big difference. And so I've set my boat up so I can be super reactive on the trim. And I spend most of my day standing up in the cockpit on the coffee grinder using trimming all day long.
You mentioned it. You were the first person to sail around the world in the Vendée Globe with zero emissions, and you haven't used your engine yet. Do you have to spend more time monitoring the state of charge with the batteries?
Yeah, I would say less, actually. And with the amount of sort of mental load that you have as a solar sailor, you need to look after yourself, you need to look after the boat, the nav, the trim, the sail change, all of these things. And for me, it's an incredible holiday almost not to worry about the energy, because I've got 2,800 watts of solar power that'll charge the boat during the course of the day. And so I'm always going into the night with the boat at 100%. And then I have slightly bigger batteries because I'm not dragging around hundreds of kilos of diesel. And so that means that during the night, I'll burn 25% of my usable autonomy. And so basically I'm going between 70 and 100% all the time every day. And so it's great. It means that I've got surplus of energy, so I can run the desalinator, the automaker, with no issues. And life is good on board. I think I'm doing my best to make a convincing argument that it's not just for principles, even though that's what drove me to do it. But it makes for a better life on board.
So let's end with this question, and it's not a dissimilar topic from the one we were just discussing. I mean, what is the allure of this race and what keeps you coming back wanting to sail around the world?
I fell in love with the principle of the Vendée Globe because it was necessary to be a really good technician, a really good mechanic, a really good sailor, a really good endurance sports person, and to knock it out of the park commercially in order to raise the funds to put together the campaign. So for me, it was the ultimate challenge in all of these multidisciplinary matters, and that's what it remains today. It's exciting to go and develop sales, but the exciting opportunities to sit down and design sales, to work with my technical team, to reinforce the boat, to have a vision and then execute it, both in the commercial side, in the communication side, in the technical side, is extremely exciting. And so that's all what happens into the lead up of it. And that's all training for the big show, the big solo race. And then once you're out there, then if you can execute that plan as a solo sailor, then your ability to do that is a testament to your ability to do anything. You have to be incredibly robust, mentally, physically, emotionally, to take hits and stand up and keep coming back. And you need to have the global vision of the boat technically. I was gluing part of the steering system back together just before we started the spool. And so, up to your armpits and epoxy and then equally turning around and fixing the camera system. Yesterday, I decided to change one of the battens in the mainsail. And so I dropped the mainsail completely, which is a bear. Change out a batten and then rehoist it completely and do that solo. And so it's exciting to be able to do all of that solo and to be complete reliant on your skills and your abilities and on the training and everything that brought you to that moment. Knowing that it's not something that you do on the spur of the moment. Right? This is years now, decades of experience that's brought into this moment, and it's exciting to be here. It's the ultimate challenge.
Very, very, very impressive. Impressive feat, impressive individual. And like you said, when you're all alone, there's nowhere to hide. You are what you are. I got tastes of it in the double-handed world, but it's another step, my friend, to be doing it by yourself. So we've had a great time watching you and the rest of the fleet, and we will continue to do so over the course of these next few months. We wish you all the best, and thank you so much for your time, Conrad.
And I enjoyed having the shoe on the other foot. Thanks, Giles.
Next up, this racer grabbed the headlines in the early stages of his first ever Vendée Globe when he set a new 24-hour solo monohull distance record in the Atlantic. I know him well and have nothing but respect and admiration for his skills and talent. This double winner of the Solitaire de Figaro, who also claimed Best Rookie, by the way, knows how to win on the big seas all around the world. He's got 3 ocean races under his belt and podium results in all the international classics. He's mixing it up in the front of the fleet and pushing the top 3 hard, so it's a pleasure to be able to connect with him as he races east. Here's my conversation with Nico Lunven.
Hello, Charlie.
Hey, Nico, how are you?
Very good, on you?
First of all, congratulations on what's been a fantastic race so far. If we'd have offered you 6th place at the beginning of the race at this stage, would you have taken it?
Yes, thank you. Yeah. It's I am quite happy. Everything is going fine with the boats in the beginning. Of course, I had few jobs to fix, as everybody, I guess. But for now, I was able to handle that, to manage that, and I am very happy to cross the Cape Horn and finally to head north toward the home. It was very, very strange, the sharp transition in the Cape Horn, because the last night before the Cape Horn, we had like 30-35 knots downwind with an horrible sea state, with the boat nose diving, with full of water on deck. And straight after the Cape Horn, we had a light transition with flat sea state, light wind, nice weather, beautiful sky. And almost in the Cape Horn, we still have this nice weather. I have right now 14 knots of wind speed. I am sailing upwind at 12 knots, The sea state is very flat, so I almost slept all day. But it is good. It is good to recover a bit, to have time to work a bit on the boat, to rest, to have food, and to enjoy yourself also, because it's good to have your lunch on the terrace on deck instead of having it inside the cockpit.
So you're in this tight pack here from 5th to call it 9th, 10th place. It's very close. Do you feel pressure being in the pack, comfort being in the pack, or are you just trying to have fun with it all?
Well, in one hand, I am a bit disappointed because after the Cape Horn with Jean and Bio, we were supposed to keep the wind up to the Falklands Islands. And the guys behind were supposed to stay stuck in a light wind area. And finally, it was the opposite. The light wind patch was a bit sooner and bigger than expected. So we were stuck in the light wind patch. And the guy behind were able to round it a bit and then to gain on us, getting the wind before us. So it was a bit disappointing at one stage, because it's always like that. But then the race is still long to go to Les Sables d'Olonne, and lots of stuff is going to happen on the South Atlantic part up to Rio, up to Cabo Frio. It's going to be very tricky. The weather is very difficult. Many transition, upwind, low pressure center to manage, very strong wind in one hand and very light area in the other hand. So lots of things going to happen in the next week, I would say, up to Cabo Frio. So we will see in 1 week how it is.
All right. Well, let's forget about the light wind for a second, and let's talk about a point earlier in the race when you had plenty of wind. In the first couple weeks of the race, you set the monohull 24-hour record for single-handed. Was that a pretty unbelievable moment for you? And were you surprised to see it fall so many times? And we have Seb Simone with our old boat doing 600 miles. It's crazy, huh?
Yeah, it was a bit funny because I was absolutely not expecting that record. And it was on the 3rd or 4th day of racing, I think, if I remember well. And at one stage, I received a WhatsApp message on board from my communication team saying, "Oh, Nico, congratulations for the record." I say, "Which record?" So I was expecting maybe, when you have a race, every day you have the best 24-hour distance, but only from the competitor, from the fleet. So I was thinking, okay, maybe I did this record. I don't know. But they say, no, it's the 24-hour record for the monohull. I say, oh, yeah, okay, I absolutely didn't expect that, because it was not my goal, to be honest, to break that record, because on the 3rd or 4th day of Vendée Globe, you are going to sail during a 2 months and a half, and you are not pushing. It was not my goal to push that hard the boat to break record, and maybe to break also everything on board. So it was fast, of course, but with nice wind, I had like 22, 27 wind speed, so it was not pushing so hard the boat.
Well, let's talk about you and the boat and how you've been pushing throughout the course of the race. Is everything well with you and the boat and with the sails? Everything is in good shape?
Yeah, almost. Of course, I have, after 1 month and a half at sea, a bit more than 1 month and a half at sea, there is some things, but nothing major. I had no major things happening on board. I have the small generator with some damage on it, but I was able to repair it. I have also a small leak on the gas oil tank, but I was able also to fix it. I have some thing like that. I have some issue with my water maker, but hopefully I have a spare one, so I change it to the spare one. So now finger are crossed for the spare one to work up to the end, because one didn't work anymore. Yeah, then you have to check your ropes if there is no chafing on the ropes. And then I had to change forward line. I had to change furling line. I have also to change tack line, I think. But I have some spare rope, so it's fine. And but except that, To be honest, no. See, I had an issue with the ballast. It was a bit. This one maybe could have been the worst thing. Finally, it was a small thing, but it was the beginning of the race. I had for the ballast, we have some hatches to be able to work inside the ballast. So of course they are closed, totally closed, with to make sure there is no water going inside the boat. But unfortunately, one of the hatch had an issue, so I had a major leak inside the boat and very close to the batteries. But by luck, when it happened, I was sleeping just close by the ballast. So straight, I was able to feel the water on my feet and to empty straight the ballast before the water I empty inside the boat.
This race really feels like a battle of attrition, a real marathon. Does that feel different than a lot of the races that you've experienced before?
Yeah, for sure. To me, to be honest, the main difference is when you are sailing by crew. Of course, everything is a bit more easy especially when you have issues to fix. I think sailing solo, the most important is your mind, because if something happens and then you start to be totally disappointed because you have, for example, a ballast issue like I had, or a sail damage or something like that, and then you are totally down because you have to work 2 hours to fix that issue, then you are not in a good mood, you are not in a good mindset to sail your boat. So you have to take it. It's like that. You know that the Vendée Globe is a long race. You are pushing your boat for weeks and weeks. So for sure that some things will happen and you will have to fix it. You know, we said in French that you have to see the glass half full instead of seeing the glass half empty. So it's important to have this mindset, to me, to enjoy the other part of the race and to be happy to be at sea, to be happy to race and to sail the boat now towards Les Sables.
And you just recently rounded Cape Horn. Does that make it easier to see the glass half full?
Yes, yes, it's a bit more easy, of course, especially when you have nice sailing conditions like I had now. And even if in the next few days going to be much more tough than of now, but yes, it's a bit more easy to see the glass half full now because now I am in the South Atlantic. Even if the race is still long, I have down, I think, more than, I don't know, 15,000 miles or something like that. So I still have 6,000 or 7,000 miles to race, which is a lot, but it's a bit less than 4 weeks or a bit more than 3 weeks at sea, which I know you did. You did, Charlie. You did lots of 3 or 4 weeks of racing in your life, so you know that it's manageable.
Yes, very manageable. And your boat is it's stronger relative to some of the other boats in the Atlantic versus the South. No, do you think you'll be pushing harder from here to the finish?
I hope so. At least the good point is that my boat is in a good shape, so I'm not afraid to push the boat if needed. I mean, the structure is okay, the sails are okay, everything is okay to use the boat at 100% of the potential, which is a good way. I don't know how it is for my competitors, but at least for me, it's a very good point. So yes, in the next few days, sailing upwind, strong wind, I am not afraid to push the boat in that condition.
What were your goals coming into this race, and are they still the same as you head towards the finish?
I think already crossing the finish line will be something just crazy after 2 months and a half at sea. Seeing my families, my kids, my wife. I think it will be, to me, this is the first goal. I think crossing the finish line, meeting my technical team, all the partners, the sponsors, will be for sure something amazing. And then, of course, I want to perform well as much as I can because I'm a competitor. So, of course, I'm going to fight during the next 2 weeks.
I know your family and I know a lot of people on your team, and I'd say that they're going to be excited to see you, and they are all definitely worth fighting for. That's for sure. So finally, Are you having fun out there? It looks like it. Just kind of in the pictures that come off the boat, I only understand about half the French content, but your facial expressions make it look like you're having fun. Are you enjoying it all?
Yeah. To be honest, you have some moments which are very, very, very nice. I would say with no price. For example, during these days, we have beautiful weather and we are still far south. So that means that we have no night. We have no dark night. I mean, the sun is going to be down, but you still have some light on the colors in the sky are just crazy at night, on the sunset, on the sunrise are very wonderful. Only these moments are very with no price, you know. Then enjoying the life at sea, you know, preparing your own food, sleeping a bit, looking around you. No, I like this life. Even if I miss my kids, my family, and lots of things from land, like good food, having a good shower and things like that. But there is also some very nice moments. Yeah.
Well, that's great. You look like you're doing a great job. That's reflected in the leaderboard. We really appreciate your time, and we wish you the best of luck, my friend, in these coming weeks as you head north to Les Sables d'Olonne. Thank you very much, Nico. Good luck.
Thanks to you, Charlie. Bye-bye. See you soon.
Finally, British skipper Sam Goodchild has spent his life on the water and has honed his skills in the cutthroat environment of French offshore sailing. In doing so, he's carved out an enviable reputation for himself within France's professional sailing community. He's no stranger to circumnavigation of the planet after 2 ocean race campaigns, yet this is his first time in the Southern Ocean alone, and he's been racing hard and true. Let's chat to one of the stars of this Vendée Globe, Sam Goodchild. Sam, great of you to connect with us. We really appreciate the time as you are bashing your way east in the Southern Ocean. First off, you're having a fantastic race. Nice work. How would you sum up the journey so far?
Yeah, thanks a lot. Yeah, I mean, yeah, it's cool. It's good. I had a really good trip down the Atlantic for sure. My boat's slightly older than Guillaume Vernier boat. There's a really light wave. So the Southern Ocean has been kind of trying to cut the losses, if you like, but just trying to keep your boat one piece and not get too frustrated. But at the moment, I'm doing an all right job of that, so I'm happy.
Yeah, I think, having an older boat that's not as happy in the south, you're really just trying to kind of hang on to the same weather system as best you can. And then you're in conditions that are better suited for your boat, maybe that's when you make your move, huh?
Yeah, that's kind of the thought process. And I mean, so much of this Vendée Globe is going to be about technical issues as well.
It seems like there always are. I remember when we were doing the ocean race, you guys got something like 800 miles ahead, and it ended up being Malizia crossing the line first in Brazil. So you're well aware of how quickly the pendulum can swing in the other direction. So kudos to you for keeping a good mindset, my friend.
Yeah, you kind of hope to, don't you? It's a long race, 3 months out here. There's no point getting disappointed too quickly. It's easy to say and less easy to do, but at the moment it's going away.
Yeah, and I mean, I think you showed in the beginning of the race that when your boat's in the Atlantic in conditions that suit it, you can be, right there as one of the front runners. That's got to be confidence inspiring for the latter stages of the race, no?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, the trip down the Atlantic I had was a dream, really. I never thought it was going to go that well. So, yeah, to give the new boats a run for their money when the conditions allow, I'm looking forward to that.
Tell us a little bit about how this colossal adventure compares to some of your other experiences.
Well, I guess put in context, the longest time I've ever spent at sea is leg 3 that we did together, or against each other, rather. And it was 35 days. I'm just gone past halfway to the down, so my time at sea is huge. And I'm spent on my own. The longest time I've ever spent on my own is 10 days. I'm at 80 at 40 already. So, yeah, some pretty unique things. And yes, I mean, the whole management that's completely new to me. I'm obviously prepared for it as best as I can do. But, yeah, I think I'm 40 days in, basically, and only halfway around. And suddenly every, noise the boat makes, you think, what's that noise? Is that good? Is that bad? Is that normal? Is that just time? Or is that something I need to worry about? So you're trying to keep on top of anything before it becomes an issue. If you can treat it before it's a problem and have to fix it, then that's good. And then just looking after yourself as well, because it's pretty on the edge the whole time. You see both shit in the red, basically. If anything goes wrong, I feel okay, but if anything goes wrong, you're pretty quickly like, I haven't got much margin for error here. I need to be careful.
So, I mean, you're obviously not a rookie to offshore sailing, but a rookie to single-handed for this length of time. I commend you for keeping excellent perspective. And, 35 days in an Amaka with your friends. By the way, it was 38 for me. I would have paid money to have it be 35. But, it's definitely a different task. You alluded to your preparation. I mean, you were one of the best prepared teams going into this race. Did that inspire confidence?
Oh, yeah, for sure. I mean, I feel myself really lucky to already have done the submersion leg 2 years ago. That was huge. Coming to the south, cruise in Mimoka, kind of just get your feet around it. And when I did that, I do open back years later on my own. So you start taking notes. You start thinking about how I managed that problem by myself. And then the fact that I prepared my project to win in the Trauma Real 8 to sell this boat around the world 4 years ago, and Tom himself, who's on his third Vendée Globe. I mean, it was pretty luxurious conditions to prepare for us, and also challenges like this. For a first one to be able to do it in that sort of environment, it's pretty lucky, and not everyone has that sort of opportunity.
Sam, how is the boat holding up?
Honestly, the boat's in pretty good shape. I had a couple of rudder issues to begin with that I had to manage, but that's under control from now. It's good, and I've still got 8 sails in one piece. And honestly, on a grand scheme of things, we're in pretty good shape. There's a few kind of creaks and crones here and there you keep an eye on, but nothing to worry about.
And just talk a little bit about your daily routine, if there is such a thing. No 2 days are the same, but do you try to get some rhythm?
Yeah, I try and stick to a routine with the sun. So I eat breakfast when the sun comes up in the morning, and try and fly very early at night time. Easy to start the stuff. So that's as much of a routine as you get. It's offshore sailing, so you can't always stick to that. But on the grand scheme of things, I try and stick to some sort of normality and perspective. But the days go by quite quickly. Actually, I was expecting it to feel a bit more long and tedious. It is at the moment. It's actually kind of ticking over nicely, and not too much clock watching, and keeping myself busy and for the day.
When it is time to rest, do you feel like you're so tired you can just fall asleep anywhere, or is your mind always thinking about what could be happening on the boat?
A little bit of both. I mean, before I go to sleep, it's not just like I'll watch now. I'll see you guys later. It's a lot of a preparation in terms of what alarms you put on. What are you expecting? Is it a sail change? Is it a wind shift? Is it what's next? So there's a lot of preparation to get yourself in a mindset where you're happy to go lie down in bed and know that you're going to wake you up if you need to be. And you've got a good 45 minutes out of that range in front of you where or you could have fully shut off and get some sleep. So yes, a lot of preparation to make sure you're relaxed enough to get some good quality sleep.
So, all that said, what goals did you have going into the race? And given your excellent race so far, have you altered those at all, or where do you sit from a mental standpoint?
My primary goal was to enjoy it, because it's 3 months at sea on your own. But if I was going to come out here and have an all time and be like, this is horrible, I can't wait for it to end, then what's the point? To be honest. That was my primary goal. And to be honest, it's gone a lot better than I expected it to go.
Sam, congratulations on what's been a great race so far, knowing that you have still a long way to go. But given your tone and your demeanor, certainly hope for good things from you from here to the oar, and then from the oar to the finish, my friend. It was great chatting with you. Thank you for the time.
Yeah, thanks for that, Charlie. Good to chat, and hope you're doing well on land. Good to catch up when all this is over and done.
So there you have it. 2 impressive rookies and an inspirational sailor trying to minimize emissions while sailing around the world. Hope you enjoyed these conversations. We'll be back again soon as the leaders hone in on the finish line in Les Sables d'Olonne.